find 7 little practices that I see in the life of Jesus that will really help you. Here they are. Frequently, many times maybe during the day for 10 seconds, retreat in order to meet and kneel before the Father. That's what Jesus did. We see many, I think I have 45 passages that we went over, in our personal worshiping class. But for example, after Jesus had fed the 5,000 and he sent the people away and he sent the disciples to get into the boat to which he would walk on water to get out there later on in the middle of the night. And he said, after the people saw the miraculous signs that Jesus did, they began to say, surely this is a prophet who has come to us. Jesus, knowing that they intended to come and make him king by force, withdrew again to a mountain by himself. There's about 45 times that I've found that in one way or another Jesus pulls away. Do you pull away like that? We're talking God the Son here, pulling away in his flesh to interact with the Father. Do we do that? And again, I'm not trying to scold you. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm trying to set up a scenario where the Lord is saying, why don't you try this? Why don't you try it? And don't feel guilty when you don't do it, but let it move you to be doing it all through the day so that you can, since we have such a great high priest, draw near. Well, how many times? Because that's why I say get beyond quiet time. And so retreat in order to kneel. That's the worship dynamic. Matthew 4, Luke chapter 4. Jesus proclaims to the devil he's a chump and there's only one person to be revered and responded to. Those are the two dynamics of worship, proskuneo and latreuo, those two dynamics. And if that's good for Jesus, it's probably good for us. So are we doing that? Reverencing and responding. Reverencing and responding. That's the kneel thing that I'm getting at. So retreat in order to meet. I had to wrestle with this. Am I encountering God today on the way to the pharmacy? Am I encountering God? Lord, I am turning to you. Encountering and responding, encountering, responding, encountering, responding all through the day. I encourage you to start experimenting with that in your daily interaction with the one to become your best friend, your deepest lover. See, guys, we don't need sex. Ladies, you don't need just human nurture. We need the embrace of God, which we actually have, but we're dull. And so we need to keep placing ourselves before him. Now, he does it. We don't. But in the mystery of him then developing these dynamics in our life. And that's all personal and private. Not all. There is a dynamic, but even public worship has to have a personal component or it's not worship. Am I correct? You worship specialists here? That there's got to be a personal transaction going on, and it is again the sum of its parts that make the dynamic. When there are many personal worshipers, public worship is really dynamic and legitimate, and not just weird and chandeliers swinging. Though sometimes there is chandelier swinging, and that's probably a good thing. But if we're really connecting, that is good. We ought to applaud and then fall down on our faces. How about that? And doesn't that happen oftentimes in public worship? I can hardly sing in public worship because I'm just, the Lord's presence comes. I can't open my dang mouth. It's like Isaiah, I'm a man of unclean lips living in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For I have in fact seen the king, not in the year that King Uzziah died, the greatest king since Solomon. I've seen the king. Oi, li. He says in Hebrew, woe is me. It's like, if Phil Keaggy came in, I hardly can stand doing music in front of you guys, but if Phil Keaggy came in and said, Byron, play Phil a little song on the guitar. No. Because I have my right place in reality. It's Keaggy, me. Okay. You get the understanding there. That's who we need to be. And yet then he opens his arm and he says, come, play your song for me. Play your song for me.